Hi guys, welcome to this mini series all about desk stretches. I don't know about any of you guys, but from spending a prolonged amount of time sat at a desk, I noticed aches, pains, and tension headaches. So I wanted to bring you this little mini series of some little stretches that you can do easily from your desk, whether that be at home or even in the office. So I hope you enjoyed this one.
Okay, so a bit of a different one today because obviously I'm sat in a chair, a very regal looking chair, might I add, not quite a desk chair. However, we are going to do some stretches literally from the chair. So it is going to depend on the sort of clothing that you're wearing to work. Obviously, if you're wearing anything really tight, some of these stretches might not be available to you.
So let's get started. Firstly, plant your feet nice and firmly on the ground. So if that means sitting a little further or a little back in your chair, just make those adjustments. And then we're going to start with extending the fingers out in front of us and just taking some little wrist circles. I don't know about you, but I don't tend to do anything with my wrists until they start to ache. And obviously, we're spending a lot of time on PCs and phones, we're using our wrists quite a lot, and also with yoga. Going in the other direction as well. Yeah, in yoga we spend quite a lot of time using our wrists. So definitely in the last month or so, I've been focusing a lot on wrist stretches. From there, you're going to bring your hands down to either your legs or onto your chair. And we're going to do some little ankle circles. So if you literally just place the foot up in the air, so the toes up but the heel down, you're going to circle outwards with the foot. So you're getting some nice little rotations at the ankle, and then circle it inwards, which apparently my coordination on is not so great. I wonder what that means. And then swapping over to the other foot, again, start with those outward circles. Also not quite as gifted with my left foot. And then taking it into the other direction. I wonder if that's something to do with being right-handed. And then placing the feet back on the ground. So now shoulder rolls. So there's two options. You can leave your hands down and just do some little shoulder rolls. So firstly rolling backwards and then maybe rolling forwards. I'd say this is probably the most discreet. If you aren't too bothered, or maybe you're at home, you can bring your fingertips onto your shoulders and actually draw circles with your elbows. So obviously this kind of like chicken wing action is a little less discreet if you're in an office. Make sure you're going the other direction as well. But I want to give you options. And the shoulders definitely need a bit of love and attention when you're spending a lot of time at your desk. So from here, we're going to do eagle arms. So firstly, taking your right hand and taking a bend at the elbow. You're then going to bring your other arm in on top and then take hold of the fingertips. From here, if you lift the elbows a little higher, that's going to increase the stretch into your shoulders. We're going to swap onto the other sides. This time left comes under, right comes on top. And again, taking hold of those fingers. Again, a little lift to increase that stretch. From here, we're going to create a little frame with our arms. So take the arms up, take a bend at the elbows, and just catch hold of the elbows. Remember which side you've got kind of where, which hand is on top, because in a minute we're going to swap over. Hopefully you can feel a nice stretch coming down a little bit through the back and through the arms. So swap over. This is evidently my side that feels a little bit less natural. And then from here, lower the arms down, bring them onto the knees, and we're going to do a couple of little cat-cows. So bringing the chest forward on the inhale, the gaze is up. As you breathe out, rounding out through the back and the shoulders, looking down. Breathing in, coming forwards. Breathing out, rounding out. So this is a really good one because you're syncing your breath and the movement, which if you're having quite a stressful day or suffering with some anxiety, then linking the breath with your stretches is really helpful. So from here, a couple of little toe curls. So really, really simple. There's two options. You can literally just lift the toes up and lower them down. Or you can do a two-part approach where you lift up through the ankle and then the toes and then lower down. So you've got those two options. And it's really good to just pause at the top where you're drawing the toes forwards or drawing them upwards and towards the body. And it just helps prolong that stretch a little bit. We tend to forget about our feet and toes, but they're really, really important. So let's do a little bit with our legs. So we're going to lift up the right knee, bring it towards the chest, and just pause here for a moment. Then from here, we're going to extend the leg. You might want to change the grip and take it behind the knee a little bit here. And then lastly, we're going to bring the ankle in towards the body. Sit it onto the thigh or above the knee. And then use the forearm to just gently press out through that knee to get a little bit more stretch through the side of the leg and into the glute. So this one might not be possible if you're wearing a tight skirt or a dress or something short, or maybe even some super tight trousers. So I will take no responsibility for any clothing broken or torn in the doing of these exercises. So use your best judgment. And then lower that one down. We're going to do the same with the other side. So left knee comes up. Pause here for a moment. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall as you're doing these. You're not slouching out into the shoulders and the back. Extend that leg, change where you're holding, hold behind the knee. And then lastly, bringing the ankle, sit that onto the thigh and use the forearm just to gently press out through that knee, that side of the leg, increasing that stretch through the glutes and the side of the leg. It feels really quite good. Help that leg back on the way down to the floor, and then we're going to work our way down, or our body is, our torso is going to work its way down. So bring your hands just onto the edges of your chair. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to fold forwards from the hips, lowering your torso onto your thighs, or just even pausing a little lifted, wherever feels good. And then if you can, lowering all the way down and actually taking the hands down onto the ground. From here, allow the head to just hang for a moment. Just increases and changes that stretch. And then gently roll back up through the spine, all the way back up to the top. And then lastly, just finishing with a couple of little twists. So firstly, bringing your right hand to the side of the chair, follow with the left. And you can actually release the right hand down the side of the chair, looking over to that right side. You can pause here for a few breaths. And then walk the hands back round to the centre. And again, this time, taking it onto the other side, left hand, followed by the right, then the left hand can be released. And you're just looking over to that left side. Just pausing and breathing. And then walking the hands all the way back round. So it's really, really simple stretches, and that's us done. So I hope that session was helpful. I am really hopeful that those stretches bring you as much relief from any tension as I find that they do. I think they're really helpful. I'd highly recommend setting a couple of reminders on your phone, maybe at least 4 throughout the day, where you're getting up and stretching. If you do find that you're sat down for really prolonged periods of time, it really isn't great for your posture. It's not great for your muscle tone, and you lose elements of that when you sit for long periods of time. So making sure you've set those alarms is really going to help you, and you can use this video at those moments to just get yourself in a few stretches. So thank you so much for joining me for this little mini series. I hope that it was really helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care.